Okay. That's what's making it heavy. We went out last night, it rained all night with no real breaks. So. But obviously we're out, it's the morning. Everything's soaking wet. It was even raining this morning when I got up, so. I apologize, I got a bit of a cold again, or allergies or something. My nose is running. But yeah, somebody did come through last night. They did a horrible job. Like some of the houses only have like 50, 60 cans, had like 3 or 4, so clearly they were working in the dark. I think it stopped raining around like 2 or 3 a.m. last night. But I'm not going to go out that late or that early, depending on how you look at it. Well, this will be the last run of this neighborhood for about 3 weeks, 2 weeks. We're heading up to the cottage next week, and we got 2 weeks up there. So looking forward to that. You guys will get footage from that. So hopefully you guys enjoy the cottage footage. Collecting bottles and cans at the cottage. Gonna take the bike in tomorrow or today to the bike shop. Get a tune-up. Gears aren't changing properly, and I think the chain's gone or going. Brakes are not doing the greatest, you know, normal bike stuff. And we're going away for 2-3 weeks. I'm not going to be collecting in the city. Probably only 2 weeks, maybe 3. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, which is going to be interesting over the next few weeks, and I'll update you as the videos come out. You guys will hear different information. But here in Ontario, Canada, the main 2 stores where you can buy alcoholic, like mixed cocktails and cans, wines, hard liquor, liqueurs and beer is the beer store and the LCBO. So here in Ontario, Canada, beer is not available in convenience stores whatsoever, and it's only available in select grocery stores. More and more grocery stores have been bringing in beer. I'm not sure how I'm sure there's strict regulations on which grocery stores can have beer and which can't, which I am not aware of. I didn't do any research on this. This is just what I know. So right now, the LCBO, which is owned by the government, it's the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. All the workers are on strike right now. So all the stores where you buy your liquor, your wine, and your canned cocktails, it's a chain all across Ontario. All the workers are on strike, and the LCBO is completely shut down. You can't buy anything from the LCBO. They were doing select online for the first few days, but it had to be shut down due to the amount of people panic buying large amounts of alcohol. I heard the first day they had to close it by 11, and the LCBO only opens at 10 or 9 a.m. and they had to shut down online orders by 11 because of the overwhelming amount of orders. So the beer store is still open, and the beer store is privately owned by the beer manufacturers. It's owned by like Anheuser-Busch, or not Anheuser-Busch, it's owned by Labatt's, which I heard Labatt's got bought out by Anheuser. It's owned by Labatt's, Molson Coors, Sleeman, Brick. All the beer companies own the beer store, or at least they used to. I don't know if they still own it, but I know they used to, and I believe it's still owned by them. They're still open, and at the beer store is where you buy all your beer. It's where you buy your kegs if you're buying kegs. Yeah, it's where you buy kegs if you're not going directly to a brewery. It's where you buy all your 24 packs, 30 packs, all your single cans. They also sell select coolers. They sell like all the hard iced teas and lemonades, White Claws, Cottage Springs, Truly. That's what you can buy at the beer store. But the LCBO, which is currently closed, is where you have to buy all your hard liquor, like whiskey, rum, vodka. It's where you buy 90% of your canned cocktails, like White Claws, Twisted Tea. It's also sold at the beer store, but they have way more options than the beer store. It's where you buy like your Mike's Hard Lemonade, your Smirnoff Ice, all your little small branded coolers, your Caesars, and they're currently on strike. And the way it works in Ontario is the LCBO distributes spirits and wine to the bars and restaurants. So right now, bars and restaurants cannot get alcohol or wine unless they go directly to a manufacturer like craft breweries. Lots of craft distillers in Ontario, you can buy directly from them. So right now, if you need to get liquor, like any liquor, you have to go directly to a distillery, or even the farmer's market does sell it. But it's going to be interesting to see over the next few weeks while they're on strike what type of empties we see a decrease in, because you can't, because stuff isn't as readily available. Now, grocery stores in Ontario have started selling more and more drinks in the past like 6-7 years. It used to just be beer, and then they brought wine in, and now you can buy wine and cider at grocery stores like Sobeys and Zehrs. However, none of the grocery stores sell canned cocktails. The only place right now where you can get canned cocktails is directly from a brewery, or from the beer store. And the beer store doesn't have nearly as many variety as the LCBO does. So it's going to be interesting to see how long they're on strike for, what type of empties we start seeing a decrease in. Because I know a lot of people, I watch the news, so I know a lot of people were panic buying before the strike. And they're on strike because one of the politicians here in Ontario has pushed a bill forward earlier than it was supposed to bring all canned cocktails, wine, and beer into all convenience stores and box stores. Spirits are still only going to be readily available. Spirits are still only going to be available at the LCBO or right at the distillers. But that's what's going on in my area right now. So it's going to be interesting to see the empties, what we start seeing a decrease in. Oh, there's also a store called the Wine Rack here in Ontario where you can buy wine and cider. The main argument is that they don't want canned cocktails in box stores because they contain hard liquor. And also they're worried about massive layoffs of jobs if they bring all this stuff to convenience stores. I try not to talk about politics at all. There's no real reason to. This is something that's happening here, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with empties. Things like Seagram 13s, you can't buy that at the beer store. You can buy Revs, you can buy White Claws, but for some reason they don't sell them. For some reason they don't sell as many coolers at the beer store. I'm not sure why it's like that. It's not something with the regulations. Things like this, can't buy that at the beer store. That's a gin cocktail. These you can buy right from the distillery because I know they're at the farmer's market I go to. As well as the LCBO. But the one main thing between the Canada and the US is in the US, most coolers are malt-based coolers. Here in Canada, they're mostly liquor-based. And the malt ones are only sold at the beer store. It's got to do something with the liquor in the drink. It depends who has the licensing to sell it. That's my guess. Now the beer store is still in charge of distribution as well as the LCBO. So the beer store is where you return all your empties. It's where you buy your beer, like I mentioned, but it's also where you return all your spirit bottles, wine bottles, canned cocktail cans, beer cans. You take it all back to the beer store. They also pick all the empties up from bars and restaurants. They drive around and they pick up all the empty kegs, cans, bottles, and everything, which is a very interesting way of doing it because they're in charge of recycling all the material. So if you drink your beer in can 6-packs, you have the paper 6 rings from your beer cans, because here in Ontario you can't 6 packs wrapped in plastic is a thing of the past. It's all cardboard. So all the cardboard packaging from your beer, you can bring it to the beer store and they have to recycle it for you because that's part of their job, is to recycle all the packaging created from the beer and spirits. It's a very, very interesting way of doing it, and it's different than some of the other provinces where they have bottle depots, which are just for returns. And the LCBO grocery stores do not take any bottles back, only the beer store. Hopefully you guys find this interesting and educational. That's what's going on here in Ontario for me. I'll see you guys back. I took in my pop cans this week. It was 2 weeks worth of pop cans and pickup I do once a year. Pickup I did was probably about 10 trash bags full, half crushed. So took in all my pop cans. It was 130 bucks. Like 140 pounds of pop cans. So really, really not bad. And I also took in, I think, about 600 or 700 pounds of shredding steel, which was 50 bucks. So I think it was around 500-600 pounds, because I think it's about just over $10 a hundred. So maybe around 500 pounds. Had 2 dryers from the work I've been doing on the side, helping one of my parents' friends. He does appliance repair, and sometimes he does install. So I've been helping him with the installs. I've been watching another different can collector from New York. I find it funny how picky the New York bottle redemption centers are. You can't have crushed cans. There can't be any liquid in it. Like, it's just, I find it how weird it is in New York. And it's only 5 cents, which is ass. Which I knew from watching 2 sheds. But I find the whole New York bottle redemption system is just weird. Can't have crushed, can't have liquid, like water bottles have to be empty, which makes sense, that's normal. What else was it? Yeah, just like the not being able to crush cans, only not including iced tea cans in with the returnables, but alcoholic iced tea is, but non-alcoholic iced tea isn't. They don't take Gatorade or sports drinks, it looks like. I commented and the guy gave me a full list one time. I can't remember exactly what it is. Oh, damn it, I took that with me. Oh, we'll dump it somewhere. I believe that company also used to be at my farmer's market that I go to. That one left though. It's also going to be interesting to see if I start seeing more American cans. Depending how long it lasts. People will probably, depending on how long it lasts, people might go up to Quebec, but those cans probably can't tell them apart unless they say Quebec deposit on them. I'm not sure what the Quebec cans look like. The American ones stick out, or at least the bottles do, because they're different than the bottles here in Canada, but the cans are hard to tell apart, like the Coors Light, the Busch. Actually, the American Busch cans typically have a little thing next to the barcode with like a recycling symbol, which says what states they have a deposit on. That's kind of how you can tell them apart, but other than that, they look. It's going to be interesting to see the amount of canned cocktails up at the cottage and the dumpsters up there at the campground and in and around that area too. Figured I'd mention that because that's going to be interesting to see up at the cottage. Because I know up at the cottage too, the one convenience store right up on, like in the town, it's like a 10-15 minute bike ride from the cottage. It's like a general store, post office, liquor store, and beer store. So it's going to be curious to see how they do their stuff there. I would assume the LCBO part of that would probably be completely shut down, but it's all in like one back room or back corner. You can see it. I obviously don't go in there because I don't drink, but you can see it when you're shopping. It's a separate little corner. They have a beer cooler for the beer store and a couple racks of basic wine and liquor for the LCBO. So that's also going to be kind of interesting to see how all that works and see if maybe they're still selling a lot of the stuff. So maybe there will be a lot of coolers and liquors up at the cottage too. Well, it feels like it's going to start raining. It wasn't supposed to rain this morning, but the sky's really gray, which means it's probably going to start raining. This is the leftover of one of the hurricanes that went to the States. Can't remember what one it was, but we got the leftovers of it.